Hello and welcome back to Forza Motorsport 7 with a bit of investigation because you see, Hypercars and the Holy Trinity here are the best vehicles in the world. Now in Forza they are a bit difficult to drive for whatever reason, but we're not going to get into that. Instead, what we're going to focus on is the fact that this battle here has never happened in real life and will never happen for various reasons, including no one wants to crash $3.5 million worth of cars. And the second reason is Ferrari has no idea the concept of competition. Because they will refuse to let their LaFerrari be driven anywhere other than a track, and they refuse to let it be driven against anybody else ever. So, yeah. Now if that's the case, then why am I focusing on this? Well, after 2018's abysmally boring Le Mans, because it really was awful. The stints and hybrid domination was really just awful in every single way. There were a few good moments. 4 wide down the Mousseline Straight was pretty impressive. But on the most part, it was tremendously boring. And that led the FIA to announce the rule changes that they've been working on for the last 2 years. And that is, by 2020, LMP is gone. Replaced with a modern-day GT1 class, which means hybrid supercars competing at Le Mans, but they actually look like supercars. They're not space-age fighter jets where everyone looks the same. These are going to be proper GT1 style things. It's going to be great, hopefully, as long as they don't ruin it. But on the surface, it looks like the best news Le Mans could ever have, because GT1 had so many manufacturers. Which means, theoretically, we could genuinely see this battle of the hybrid hypercars ripping it down the Mousseline Straight. And I thought that was a very good idea. So, I decided to do some racing with these cars. First is a test race in here in Mugello, and then at the actual race at Le Mans. Alright, for the actual Le Mans race, I decided to go with a McLaren P1. Because, well, I wanted speed. This is a 230 mile an hour car. This one was approaching 250 by the time I finished it. I did have to take a little bit of an escape route because people were stupid and blocked up the first corner, because they always do. And, yeah, that was, I got a fair few positions that way, not really the way I wanted to, but I'll take it, you know, free position is a free position. Didn't damage the car, only cosmetically, so I will take that. Now, it did start off in the rain, and, yeah, this vehicle here, I modified it to be able to go 250. Only downside is that it's rear-wheel drive and has over 900 horsepower. And then we came into the battle that everybody wants to see at Le Mans. The McLaren P1 versus the Ferrari. And this was very fast. It's already going as fast as the GTLM cars ever will down here, 180. And we're going over 210, which is 10 miles an hour faster than the fastest of the LMP1 cars. And this is with the kinks in the straight. So, yeah, it's a crazy thing. I do go for a very big dive on the left, right, banging doors a little bit when you're both rear-wheel drive, but I have just that bit better acceleration, that bit better bravery, and I managed to get alongside them, and then he pulls away. My car was, I say, lacking in certain speed. Compared to everybody else, it was lacking a little bit, not as much as the Porsche, for sure. It is faster than some vehicles, like the Veneno, but, yeah, it doesn't have the ultimate speed like the LaFerrari or the Koenigsegg's or the Veyrons, but it was certainly up there. It was certainly competitive, which was good because Le Mans is 50% straight, and you need a vehicle with good straight line speed at this track, or otherwise you're screwed. And yeah, it was a very good battle actually. He went off way ahead, and then I caught up immediately under brakes because I have way better brakes. And I brake way later, which means in half quarter, I'm already right in the back of him, and then I get wheel spin, because I'm a 900 horsepower rear-wheel drive McLaren in the rain. So, yeah, that lost me a little bit of time, and I did that a lot more than you would think, though, which was a tad bit annoying. Quick stops, there's only one quick stop required. 4 laps with a 50-50 chance of it becoming foggy and rain. I did lock the brakes up, and that was terrifying. That's why I was swirling all over the place there. Did an unintentional dive bomb on the Ferrari there. Wasn't really intending to. Kind of locked the brakes up, started swirling all over the place, and I kind of just went for a gap that I saw, and it just about made it. That was very scary, and I hope I never have to do that again, because that was unintentional, but brilliant. And that gave me the position. I was in 6th place now, which was a pretty good start to Le Mans. Pretty good start. Still at 4 more laps and 1 more pit stop. And yeah, it was a faster car in the corners. I did notice a hint of understeer. It was a bit annoying, because you wanted to go flat out around these corners, but you just couldn't. You were so close to, but you couldn't. I mean, it's better than the Bugatti, which weighs 2 tons. And that wasn't fun around here. Mega straight line speed. It blitzed this in the straights, but then, as long as I wasn't drifting everywhere, this would blitz it around the corners. So, and some people were already taking their first pit stop, and I decided to wait until the very end of the race to take my pit stop. I wanted to hold out for as long as possible, because I know my tires could withstand the punishment, if you will. The endurance for 3 laps, I knew they could withstand that. I was willing to take that risk, and I just went maximum attack for 3 laps, and then I went in the pits. Now my job passing the Bugatti was considerably easier as it went off the road, and it led into a 3-car battle for 5th. As you can see here, we have a Veneno battling with a LaFerrari battling with the Bugatti, but the Bugatti ran away, because it's a straightaway, and the Bugatti was the fastest car in the world for several years. So, yeah. The Veneno it's the only car, one of the few cars that I could actually out-accelerate and out-straight-line speed. That and the Porsche. But it had arguably the best grip out of all of them. I love how that Veneno handles. It's an absolute beast around the corners. And it's keeping up relatively close to that Ferrari, And, yeah, it was surprisingly good racing. There's always a fear with ultra-high R-Class, P-Class, even S-Class racing in Forza. And that is, people don't know how to drive the cars. It's almost a guarantee that people will try and go 200 miles an hour into a corner, break at the 50-meter board, and wreck the entire field into a wall. But, no, it was actually quite nice. It was actually very good racing. I was, again, a little afraid. But, yeah, overall, pretty solid. You can see the Veneno's lack of straight-line speed, because it just doesn't have any. I don't know what it is about the car, but it is just lacking on the speed front, which is kind of important at Le Mans. Now, amusingly, the only car that was lacking more in straight-line speed was the Koenigsegg 1-1. 270-mile-an-hour hypercar, due to the homologation requirements, which it's somehow able to compete in. It's actually slower than the Porsche. Don't know how that's possible, but there you go. That's a thing that can apparently happen. And as you can see, the Ferrari tried to go on the Veyron, didn't quite work. And now everything's being bunched up again as we head into the tight, twisty sections, and people forget how to change gear. And now it's going to build squabble as the Koenigsegg, spins its wheels up and blocks the Veneno from the back. Yeah, there's only 6 Venenos in the world, and we had all of them pretty much at this track, which was very, very expensive given the fact that one of those missing a taillight got into an accident. Quite possibly the most expensive accident, well, ever. The car alone is $4.5 million, not to mention the car that ran into it. And that Ferrari is still looking to pass. That Bugatti is trying to go around the outside. It's not going to work. Has to go back into line. Now it's under threat from the Veneno. It's all getting very close, but then we have another straight section, and the Veneno just loses out. It's kind of ironic. And then they all go into the pits, except for the Benedetto doesn't know how to pit, and then we get a very close-up shot of it going into the back of a LaFerrari. With everybody pitting in the entire field, I had a massive lead, and I was in a bit of no man's land. And I had 50% fuel and 13% tire wear. But it was the second to last lap. I knew I had a pit on the next lap, so I just floored it. I just said, this is our only lap we got. We're going in, we're going fast, and we're not stopping. And it was pretty nice having a very solid lap time to get in. Because it's just you and the car, and you have to push it as hard as possible, because you know you lose time in the straights. So you have to be able to maximize the braking, accelerating, and corner speeds. And if you don't, you might lose the lead. So I knew I had to be incredibly fast around this lap, or I was possibly history, because this is a very big risky strategy. I did some testing in Le Mans earlier, and I was Hypercars, a different car. I wasn't using the McLaren. But I was doing the exact same strategy as this one. And I was in lead, and then throughout the lap I made a few mistakes, and I got into the pits, and I came in 8th by the end of the race. So I knew I had to be very fast, very precise, and perfect in every single way. It was very high pressure, because if you didn't do well on this lap, you were done. And I'm struggling to control the car a little bit, because although the rain has stopped, the track is still wet, so still spinning the wheels up, but yeah, very high pressure lap for me. And as I headed into the pits for the last time, for the first and only time actually, I knew it was very risky. I had to go fast. Luckily, I had some help. You see, the second and third place cars had followed the exact same strategy as I did, which meant they were also needing to pit. So I had a massive lead over them, and they had to do the exact same pit stop as me, which meant I was pretty much golden for the top 5. But then I realized that 6th and 7th place, which were approaching rapidly, were done with their pit stops and were rapidly trying to catch me. And here comes the 8th place car, and you see the cars further ahead pitting. But this Porsche did not have to pit. I wasn't even exiting. I was just exiting the pit lane at this point. So it was very, very close whether or not I would continue to hold my position or lose it out. And luckily, by sheer dumb luck, the Porsche, which is very difficult to drive in this game, went off the road. And I think that if he didn't go off the road, he would have taken me, because I just exited the pits. And that meant I held the lead through my pit stop, not by much, and I probably shouldn't have held the lead, or I should have been within range, but because the Porsche went off the road, I was able to continue holding the lead, and that's pretty much how the rest of the race would go. Yeah, I would take victory with the first running of the GT cars, with the GT1 cars at Le Mans. It was very good fun. I know this isn't the finish line, but for whatever reason, the replay died shortly after the Mousseline straight. It just cuts off. Like it's thinking that's the finish line or something. Ignore the floaty cones. The McLaren is using its telekinetic powers to levitate that because it's happy about winning. Yeah, it was good fun. I was surprised at how good the racing was. The Porsche in second did keep me honest, but it couldn't answer the McLaren. In real life, it may be at this track. I wouldn't know. We might have to see. Who knows? But yeah, it's looking good. Hopefully, you see the Aston Martin Valkyrie, the Mercedes Project 1 and the new Toyota hybrid hypercar that they're working on duke it out at the Mulan Strait. That would be quite a sight. But in the meantime, just racing with these hypercars currently on Le Mans is a ton of fun. Surprisingly good, surprisingly balanced, each vehicle having their own strengths and weaknesses. Like, this one is slow on the straights, but murderously good under brakes. Just, like, G-forces would kill you how good it is under brakes. And yeah, overall, first off, I'm very pleased to win, and yeah, overall, a very fun and solid race. But that's gonna be it for this episode of Forza Motorsport. So I'll be back with more.